So good morning, everyone. Welcome to the second EU LiveSeeding webinar on boosting organic seeds and breeding entrepreneurship, strategies for marketing and promoting organic seeds locally and effectively. We are delighted to have you here joining us. Thank you all for being here. A special thanks to our 16 speakers who will be sharing their experiences with us these 2 days. We hope this webinar will be insightful and productive for everyone. My name is Maria Carrascosa, and I'm an agronomist specialized in agroecology and cultivated biodiversity. I am part of the Secretariat of the Spanish City Network for Agroecology. That is a Spanish association formed by 30 municipalities. And our goal is to drive the development of municipal food policies that promote sustainable, healthy, diverse, fair, and local food systems. To begin, I would like to introduce some elements of the LiveSeeding project and today's webinar. So I am going to share my screen.
Perfect. Yes.
Thanks. Okay, so LiveSeeding, it's innovation action horizon project. We have 37 partners from 15 European countries. It's a 4-year project. We are going to end it in next September 2026. So we have a little bit more than 1 year more to work together. The goal of this project is to foster the availability of high-quality organic seeds of sufficient quantity adjusted to organic agriculture for diverse diets and sustainable food systems. And for that, we are using the push-pull-enable approach. We are developing strategies that push, so that increases the availability of organic seeds of cultivars suitable for organic production. Other strategies that pull, so that increase and stabilize the market demands for organic seeds of cultivar suitable for organic production, and that enable, so that accelerates and encourages the legislative and regulatory environments to adapt supply and demand. We are working through a multi-actor approach. On the right, you can see all the logos of the LiveSeeding partners. We have research institutions, organic breeders and seed producers that are in the European Consortium for Organic Plant Breeding, EcoPB. We have 2 organic farmers associations, 7 universities and research institutes, 3 examination officers, 15 SMEs and 2 large seed companies, NGOs, and 4 IT experts. So as you can see, we have a very broad and diverse type of partners in the project. We are building thinking in training for entrepreneurship, the LiveSeeding Organic Seed and Breeding Entrepreneurship Training Center. And the objective of this training center is to strengthen the knowledge and skills needed of existing or potential SME managers to undertake an entrepreneurial activity in the organic seed and breeding sector. And for that, we are developing different types of training activities. The first one are the European webinars, as this one, which is the second one. But we are also developing national trainings in some countries, so stay tuned. And we are proposing a national counseling plan. You will get news about that in up to 6 countries. So later I will share with you the link of the newsletter where you will find more information of those actions. So as I said before, this webinar, Strategies for Marketing and promoting organic seeds locally and effectively is the second one in a series of online training activities focusing on relevant aspects at the EU level for boosting organic seeds and breeding entrepreneurship. It is designed to support existing and emerging initiatives in the organic seeds and plant breeding sector by providing tools and insights to strengthen their marketing and communication strategies. This webinar will showcase related LiveSeeding outcomes and will provide a platform for more than 10 already existing initiatives. So yeah, we put the focus on sharing what seed initiatives in the seed and breeding sector, organic seed and breeding sector are doing to share their unique business proposal and experiences. The activities focused especially on existing or potential small and medium-sized initiatives that produce and sell organic seeds and seedling, and also that create materials through organic seeds, organic breeding, particularly on arable crops and vegetables, which are the crops target in LiveSeeding. Okay, so finally, you can see here my email. Reach me if you want more information about these trainings, and also the different social media and the website where you can join LiveSeeding project. Okay, without delay, we are going to start the first session. That will present some elements regarding the current situation of the organic seed and breeding sector. And for that, I welcome Freya Schaffer and Maria Teresa Lazzaro. Good morning, and thanks a lot for being here. Freya Schaffer works in Fibel, Germany.
Good morning. May you check if Freya is in the waiting room, because she wrote she's having difficulty to join the meeting.
No, she's not.
Okay. Then I try again to send her the link.
Okay. Thank you, Teresa. Let's present you while she's trying to get into the room. Freya, she's responsible for the LiveSeeding work package on policy, databases, and seed market transparency. She's working together with the national competent authorities to motivate them in promoting the production and use of organic seeds and planting material. She's member of the German Organic Seed Expert Groups and board member of EcoPB. And now she's coordinating a national project to provide supply and demand of organic seeds and planting material in Germany. And Maria Teresa, she's an agronomist with a PhD in agrobiodiversity from Scuola Superiore Santa Ana in Italy. She's currently the co-leader of the organic plant breeding group at Fibel, Switzerland, with focus on neglected grain legume pre-breeding. She coordinates looping research, breeding research at Fibel, combining molecular breeding methods with on-farm participatory approaches. She develops her research activities in several national and European projects. Thank you very much, Teresa, for being here. And is Freya in the room?
Yes.
Great. Great. Okay, so thank you very much to both for being here. Let's share with us some insights of the organic seed and breeding sector in the EU. I am going to make you co-host.
Yes.
Yeah. Starting with Freya. Done, Freya. The floor is yours.
Yes, thank you very, very much. I will try to share my screen. Can you see the full slides?
Yeah, but not a full screen mode yet.
1 second. Oh, I have to change 1 second. The presenter module. Why is it not in this direction? 1 second. I will skip. I'm sorry.
Worry.
Okay. Is it now better?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Sorry for the delay. So thank you very much for introducing me, and good morning, everybody. I would just give you a brief overview of or insights into the organic seed and breeding sector. Actually, I will talk about organic seed, and Maria Teresa will talk about the breeding sector. So to roughly introduce, oh, come on. Oh, no, why it's not moving? Yeah, now. Okay, so I will talk about organic seed, and I would say everyone should know the use of non-organic seed is allowed in organic plant production, but there is a deadline to phase out the derogations on non-organic seed by the end of 2036. At the moment, it looks like that it will be phased out for seed and planting material, so for all plant reproductive material, but I think this is an ongoing process, and the European Commission or DG Agri is evaluating if this phasing out is feasible for all crops, but maybe we can talk about this later. However, the seed and breeding sector in Europe is quite large. At the moment, 52,000 people are employed. As you can see here, the market, seed market, at 10 billion euros a year. So this is quite large, and we have to add farmer seed and in the informal seed exchange. So this is the seed market. And at the moment, about 50% of this is coming from organic seed, and the rest is non-organic seed. As I already said, there's a market projection that we aim to have 25% organic farmland, but according to the latest numbers, it will be rather 15%. And 100% organic seed use by the end of 2035 or 26. And about the breeding sector, that are about 3,500 new varieties come up every year. And at the moment, it is estimated that about 42,000 different varieties are available to farmers at the moment in Europe. And to this, we need to add the conservation varieties and some other varieties like amateur varieties or organic varieties, and the formal and informal genetic resources conservation. So I think about this breeding part, Teresa will tell you a bit more. But the aim is, of course, to have adapted varieties that are suitable for organic farming. When we phase out non-organic seed use, we also need to have more adapted varieties. So in general, we can say that the organic seed and planting material is growing. As I said, the farming area, it is aimed to reach 25% by 2030, but there are some estimations with this ongoing support and political framework, we will reach about 15% by 2030. Maybe it will change, but this is the projection at the moment. And we can see that in the different countries, there are more stricter rules to grant a derogation for non-organic seed coming up. And I think this is quite positive because it is an incentive for the market to supply more organic seed. And also that it is new since the new regulation, since coming into force of the regulation 2018-848, but the vegetative planting material is also regulated. Before the planting material was out of this regulation, except of the seed potatoes, but now also for instance, fruit trees and berries need to arise from organic production if available. And of course, based on this regulation, there is an incentive to produce more material. And but we can see that for some crops in some regions, there are still big gaps. Maybe I just give you a very broad overview. We can see here in orange the use of non-organic seed. In green, the organic farm-safe seed. So farmers, if they can use their seed or produce their seed themselves and don't buy it or sell it to another farmer, or don't buy or purchase other seed. And in blue, we can see the percentage of organic purchased seed. And in the different regions, we can see the example, for instance, for wheat, that in the northern and the central European countries, the use of organic and farm-safe seed is quite high, while for the southern and the eastern European countries, the percentage or the share of non-organic seed is about 50% for wheat. And if we look, for example, for lucerne, it's also completely different. So for the Central and Southern European, it looks quite good. But for the Northern and the Eastern European, the lucerne supply of organic seed is not that high, actually, at the moment. If we look, for instance, for tomato, we can see that almost in all regions in Europe, there's a big gap in the supply of organic tomato seed. And well, in the Northern European countries, that there's a use a bit higher, but in general, we can see that there's a big gap there. We need to improve the supply and the use of organic seed. And there are some general needs in organic seed production. For instance, we can see from our research we have done in the LiveSeeding project, that smaller companies that have a higher demand for training, to better understand the market, to have some difficulties sometimes in seed cleaning or storage, and also they have a higher need in financial support and also support in entrepreneurship. Maybe we talk about this today. I think this is a good situation or event today to talk about this. And for larger companies, we can see that are interested to get into the organic market. They have difficulties in upscaling or organizational issues. For instance, finding farmers willing and skilled to produce under organic conditions. So it's also the question. I have some discussions with larger companies. Is it easier to convert a very skilled seed producing farmer into organic, or to convert the area to organic? Or is it better to have organic farmers that become familiar and training into producing organic seed? So it's a question of converting organic farmers, or the organic farmer becoming a seed producer, or seed producer becoming organic. So this is, it depends on the crop and the region. And of course, if you talk about organic certification, it's an additional task that need to be organized. Also, the seed treatments, pest and disease management is difficult or different, let's say different. And therefore, larger companies who enter the organic market, they need to, organize themselves and see where they, can get into the market. And I put it here a bit in red because it is important to have the suitable or the right variety or cultivar, because based on the regulation, there's a reason, it's called reason C, that if the variety is not suitable, farmers can use another variety and then ask for a derogation. So it is important to have a direct connection, or to supply the right variety to a farmer that they are requesting. If we talk, for instance, about open pollinated varieties in vegetable, it does not account for the cereals. I just talk about vegetables. The market share in Central Europe is about 1 to 3%, depending on the crop. So actually, it is a good entry point if you work with open pollinated vegetables in Europe, maybe. But however, you should keep in mind that it may remain a niche market because the use of open pollinated varieties in vegetable production, is limited because most farmers use hybrid seed in the vegetables. Okay. And if we talk about farmers, just a very nice overview of potential incentives. I hope you can identify them or read them. I will put also the link to this infograph to the chat after my presentation. Maybe some people are interested. We have produced in LiveSeed project, it was a previous project, some general information for different actors, and therefore we also have this infograph on incentives for farmers to use organic seed. I think it is important as a seed supplier to have a good understanding of the farmer's needs and the varieties that are requested, or maybe a direct relationship to a farmer, to avoid that the farmer is using another variety that maybe is just available from conventional multiplication and not using your organic supplied seed. I would just give you one more example of a project I'm coordinating in Germany. It's called Roadmaps to 100% Organic Seed Use. And this project started in 2023, and it will last until 26. And it is coordinated by me. It's a national project. And with more than 200 different actors, we analyzed the different crop groups for arable, horticulture, herbs, and fruit and wine. And also our ornamentals are covered in another project. So there's a lot of information going on, and we try to collect the knowledge of the different actors. And often this knowledge is not documented. So it's maybe known as tribal knowledge, that people, they know their market, they know their market share. And of course, it's a bit difficult because it's a secret, like a business secret, but sometimes people are quite open to discuss that they see, okay, I see a potential in this direction, or that there's a lack of, for instance, a certain crop in a certain region. For instance, for leek, I can tell you that at the moment, for instance, in Germany, the use of leek is quite low. It's about 10 to 20%. Actually, it's not that high. But we discussed with the different actors that the varieties that are mainly used, they are in place. So it's a matter of upscaling to reach 100% of leek seed in Europe, or in Germany, I'm sorry. And we can see that, for instance, Netherlands and France, they already put leek on category 1. That means there is sufficient organic seed available and no conventional seed is used anymore. And therefore, we expect that in Germany, we will reach category 1, so non-organic seed use, in some years. It's a matter of upscaling. There's another difficult example, for instance, in carrots. There's something went wrong with the slide. However, that most of the carrots in Germany are sold via the supermarkets, and mainly in plastic bags. So there's a high, let's say, high requirement from the size and the quality of the product that goes into this bag, and therefore not all varieties are suitable. And there are two main varieties, Bolero and Nerac, that are used at the most, but there are also some other varieties. However, they are not sufficiently available in organic seed quality, and also these varieties are not so good to be produced or multiplied under organic conditions. So it is difficult to have organic seed from these in these amounts, let's say, we need in Germany. And therefore, at the moment, it looks that we will not reach this aim by 2036, except there will be some new breeding or new varieties coming up. And I know that some actors are working on this. And we really hope that there will be some new good varieties, hybrid seed varieties on the market that could be multiplied under organic conditions so that we will have sufficient organic seed. So I think that's it. And I think Maria,
Yes.
Teresa, if you would like to take over.
Yes, I will continue with an overview related to the variety choice, so the breeding part. I'm happy if you can switch for me the slides. And even though there isn't an actual statistics on the provenance or typology of varieties which are used in organic, we can say that over 90% of the varieties that are used, they actually come from varieties from conventional breeding, so that are basically developed within mind the target traits and the environment of conventional agriculture, and just in best cases have been tested for suitability in organic farming. This is the status quo. And the other two typologies are the ones which are specific for the organic sector, what we define breeding for organic. This is a product-oriented type of approach, for which there is at least a partial consideration of the breeding goals in organic. There is a combination of the breeding program to serve both conventional and organic farming needs, and there is no use of techniques that are not allowed in the organic standard, and the final propagation and selection steps are done in organic certified conditions. And the third level is that of organic plant breeding. This is process-oriented, and this is the type of approach that fully considers the breeding goals and tries to meet the breeding goals with the principles of organic farming. All selection and propagation steps are under organic conditions, and of course also in this case all the techniques used are in line with the organic regulation and the organic standards. Regarding breeding for organic farming, there is examples of major companies that have entered the market long ago. These are just some examples. So if you belong to any other company that also develops cultivars in the breeding for organic frame, please feel free to share after the presentation or in the chat. But for example, for the vegetables, Vitalis and Bayo provide cultivars that are tested and that are suitable for organic farming, and KWS for the cereals, and surely others. In the breeding for organic concept, as the objective that, for example, when resistances are found in organic cultivation, this really contributes to the sustainability of also the varieties that the companies put on the market also for conventional farming. And on the other side, having the combined breeding program, which, let's say, departs only at the end of the pipeline, makes sure that the breeding for organic can benefit from the much larger number of breeding lines and volume of the breeding program that is for the conventional cultivation. Of course, this is with the current status in Europe. This might really be different if the NGTs will be allowed in conventional breeding, which is not the case at the moment. Then this synergy could be interrupted. Next. When we speak of organizations that are 100% dedicated to developing varieties for organic plant breeding, there isn't an actual inventory, but we tried with our bio-breeding project to map these initiatives. I will share also the link in the chat, and here you see that there is a series of initiatives around Europe that identified themselves with the organic plant breeding definition as of IFWAM principles and as of the EcoPB, which is the European Consortium for Organic Plant Breeding principles and guidelines. With the current organic regulation, for the first time, we actually have a legal definition of organic breeding, of organic variety and organic heterogeneous material, though the actual definition of organic breeding and organic varieties still needs, let's say, supplementary information in order to be completely implemented. In terms of typology of the organizations that are fully dedicated to organic cultivar development, we very often have organizations which are non-profit of very different types, because in the different European countries, this the non-profit it's regulated in different way, or private for-profit with a non-profit aim. This also depends on the typology of the European country and the national legislation. We often have a farmers cooperative. I think today or tomorrow there will be the one example from France, the Ubios. We often have small and medium enterprises, and as well the effort of some public research center or breeding organizations. In terms of cultivar types, these organizations that are fully dedicated to organic plant breeding, they focus on one side on robust varieties that are developed fully in organic conditions, so that the plant can be selected in harmony and in synergy with the environment and the soil, especially. And they focus also in many cases on genetically heterogeneous cultivars, so adapted land races, open pollinated varieties, populations. And since with the organic regulation, we have the two legally defined typologies of varieties. Apologies for the typo. The one, it's organic varieties suitable for organic production, which can have less strict DUS for the registration, though it has to go through formal DUS and VCU if it's an arable crop, and the organic heterogeneous material, which can be marketed based only on a notification. And in several European countries, there is already notified organic heterogeneous materials. When one looks at specifically at the part of the breeding, the organic breeding sector, which is the OPB part, we see that a main issue is related to the financing sources. So here I have a list from the exchanges and interactions we had in the bio-breeding and LiveSeed project to what are the main financing sources of this organic plant breeding organization. And the public financing plays a big role. This can be general operating grants, tenders for specific crops or specific breeding goals at national level, or in the quite vast majority of the cases, actually research and project-based funding. Of course, public funding, it's really fundamental for pre-breeding, for genetic resources conservation, and it really can be very good asset for public-private co-funding schemes, in which if the private sectors invest, then the public sector can, let's say, back it up. On the other side, a main limitation for the breeding organizations, not for the research, but who really wants to put on the market heterogeneous material, organic varieties, and go from the pre-breeding part really to the practical breeding and then to the seed production. It's that these grants are very often mostly for research and not really for the practicalities of of the variety development, the later steps. The long-term activities are very difficult to justify from grant to grant, and for the professional breeders who are not research centers, the administrative effort and the reporting, it's very high for the amount of grant that they get. And also very often the public grants need a certain proportion of co-funding that, especially for non-profit and small and medium enterprises, can often be a restriction or a challenge. The next typology of, let's say, pillar of current funding for OPB is private funding. This can be funds from, for example, private or agricultural organizations. For example, I imagine the organic farmers organization like BioSwiss in Switzerland. They can be funds from private donors, both from competitive or from annual-based type of grants, and especially funds from foundations. I've also included in this typology the green investments from banks, though this is maybe not the most used one. And when we speak especially of the funds that come from the foundations, there is a major limitation that often this type of funding really stays at charity level, and often the foundations give priority to new organizations or to start a process, but not to continue over the 10, 15 years, which are really needed to bring varieties on the market. And it is also a struggle, especially for the small non-profit organization to, let's say, develop our own, let's say, portfolio of this type of funds, especially in countries where there isn't well-established foundations who specifically support organic breeding. So it might be a bit more settled in, or it is more settled in Central European countries, but it is much more difficult for organizations who are emerging or who work in Southern or Eastern European countries, where such foundations are not very well acquainted with the specificity of organic breeding compared to the general work in organic farming. And the other typology that the organic plant breeding organization use or can use, it's user financing. So to get back part of the investment for the variety development from the users. With this, one can be the seed purchased by the farmers, for who applies for variety protection the royalties, or for who decides not to apply, then can be farmers' membership or voluntary work of the different actors included, for example, in the participatory plant breeding initiatives. But honestly, both if we look from the plant variety registration, the ones who use plant variety rights and the ones who basically use the voluntary contribution, still, if one makes it in numbers, then this contribution in percentage, it's very low compared to the needed funding for developing the variety. It really doesn't really cover the cost of breeding. And this is the same situation, which is, of course, very useful and interesting to increase the awareness raising of citizens and to try to include citizens in the co-funding, though in a way it is also difficult because it's again very little what then one quantitatively manages to get, and there is always the difficult conversation related to how to make the consumers or the citizens contribute, but how to keep fair price at the level of purchase. And the last would be to think at value chain scale, so that we would have a contribution for the integrity of the organic farming sector, which means organic, like the Bio Veritas Association you will hear from tomorrow, motto organic right from the start, right from the variety and the seeds. And this would be a duty of all the organic sector, all the value chain, though this is difficult, especially when there is problematics in the organic sector. For example, when the war in Ukraine started and the organic sector, let's say, especially the selling part of organic had a strong moment of difficulty. And on the other side, there are, let's say, aspects of organic farming which are easier to use than in communication strategies. We will speak of this tomorrow by the value chain actors. So it might be easier to raise funding for animal welfare compared to the cultivated biodiversity or organic breeding. So to get to a conclusion of my overview, basically, we have the situation that companies and initiatives that perform 100% organic breeding, so what I defined organic plant breeding, and the ones who focus more on breeding for diversity and participatory approaches, or anyway, really organic right from the start, have really a high need for sustainable funding schemes. On the other side, the small initiatives that at the moment do not breed for organic conditions, they have a better understanding of the concept of organic breeding, the principles and the funding opportunity, and that can be a easier market entry, for example, for OHM notification or organic varieties. On the other side, there are companies that have entered the market long ago, and they have, let's say, the positive aspect that they can make until now a good synergy between the conventional and organic branch of these companies, and like this deliver useful varieties on the market. But on the other side, large companies that are not yet, or they were not yet entering the market, those are maybe more difficult to include, because they might not as easy as smaller enterprises see the need to test under organic conditions. Yes. And that is our LiveSeeding consortium.
Thank you very much, Teresa and Freya. Things are more clear now. We can take one or two quick questions from participants if someone is willing to share a question. You can raise your hand, you can paste it in the chat. Teresa is sharing some links in the chat, the map she already shared in the PowerPoint presentation. Frank, let's take this question. We are a little bit late. Frank, please.
Yeah, it's very short
in.
anyway. I'm
Great.
looking forward to the upcoming program in the webinar. So maybe my question is already a bit early, but thank you for the presentations up to now. Our concerns often goes about the small and very small enterprises that we call nano enterprises. So I'm just bringing this item up, so maybe we have time later on to speak about all these diversity actors that do not really have good technical equipment and skills and so on. Thank you. Maybe we can do this later.
I don't know, Freya, Teresa, if you want to react to this comment.
Yeah, I would say that's completely right. I think there are some farmers, they produce seed, and maybe they would have the potential to produce more organic seed, but they need then some cleaning facilities or packaging facilities. And yeah, I think this is it's a level where we need to get over. Maybe we can talk about this today. Yeah. There's another question.
Yeah, Hag, please share with us your question, and that will be the last one. Sorry for that.
That's all. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the presentations. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just wondering if you've got a breakdown of the percentages in any of the financing slides, like the private financing, whether you've got a breakdown of the proportions with more detail, or do you have that kind of information?
Yes, we did for a previous project 2 case studies. I can share that, and in those case studies, the 2 organizations supported us really with the information on how it is their current percentage from the different sources and where they would ideally want to go. One of these cases is from GZPK, Getreidezüchtung Peter Kunz in Switzerland, and it is a quite nice case. So I will link this document for you, and I think reading from 2 real experiences that can help to see, this summary that I have done. And of course, often the non-profit organizations at the moment have a strong they need to rely often too much, for example, on the research grants, but the ideal situation would be to go in a situation in which the different pillars would be better balanced. Yeah, I hope that reading will be an interesting one, and you can get back to me if you have questions related to the specific cases.
Great. Freya, Teresa, thank you very much. We are going to jump to the next session. Thank you very much for your contributions. Okay, let's go to the next session, where we are going to explore how the legal framework is evolving and to what extent the future EU regulation on plant reproductive material will be able to support greater diversity in food systems. And to shed light on this, I am pleased to welcome Maria Zintle from IFAM Organics Europe, who will present the current status of the revision of the EU legislation on PRM. Maria is a senior policy officer at IFAM Organics Europe, at the European Umbrella Organization for Organic Food and Farming, and she has been working closely on the reform of plant reproductive material regulation. Maria, thank you very much for being with us today. The floor is yours.
So yes, hello again. I would like to have a quick look together with you at the current status of the regulatory review process of the for the marketing of PRM in the European Union. And I will just briefly repeat why there is this reform of the seed and plant reproductive material legislation. So according to the Commission, why they come with this initiative, they say that the current rules are quite old. Some of them date back to the 1960s. And they are also spread across many different directives. And they would like to include everything in one single regulation that will replace all these directives, and also hopefully harmonize the whole system a bit more across Europe. So what are the intentions? Again, according to the EU Commission, the intentions are to provide high quality plant reproductive material, a diversity of choice, then also a material that would be adapted to current and future climatic conditions, contribute to food security, to biodiversity and sustainability. These are the goals or objectives that should be achieved with the new regulation. And I would like to give you a quick reminder of where we are. The whole reform is still work in progress at the EU institutions. You can here see the 3 EU institutions. So on top, you can see the European Commission, and that is where the whole process starts. They have put out their regulation proposal in July 2023. And after this proposal has been put out, then the other 2 institutions, the Parliament and the Council, they take up their work. So we can see that the Commission has sort of done their job for the moment, and also the Parliament has already found a position with some, I would say, good improvements from the perspective of diversity that they have suggested for the original Commission proposal. So they have finalized their position in April 2024. And currently the work is ongoing at the Council of the European Union. The Council of the European Union, I will explain that a bit more in a few minutes, is the place where the member states really interchange their opinions on the regulation. And once the Council will also have found a position, then the Parliament and the Council will meet again in the so-called co-decision process. The Commission will also share their point of view. And the objective is then finally that all 3 institutions find a kind of compromise on their position on this regulation. And this compromise will hopefully be the final version of the regulation. So as I said, currently all the action is happening at the Council of the European Union. And I'm sorry. So the Council is where the ministries of every member state meet and discuss. And for the plant reproductive material regulation, this means that the representatives from the ministries of agriculture of each and every member state are currently looking into this proposal and suggesting their amendments and improvements from the perspective of the member states. And the ministries of agriculture can also, to some extent, be influenced in what they think and do about the PRM regulation. Mainly, I would say they can influence by national stakeholders. So the variety registration offices and the plant health authorities, for example, I think they will certainly share their point of view on the reform with the ministries of agriculture. But also you can reach out to your Ministry of Agriculture and try to influence the decision making. There is still time for that. Now is the moment. On this slide, I would like to briefly look at what is possibly happening next, and also what are some of the topics and concerns that have been raised about the reform of the plant reproductive material regulation. So first of all, we currently do not expect that the Council will agree on their final position, the so-called general approach, in the first half of 2025. That would be when Poland is holding the presidency of the Council. What we think is more likely is that the Council will find a joint position on the PRM regulation in the second half of 2025. And just as a little reminder, as I explained before, once the Council has found this joint position, then the negotiations amongst the 3 institutions will start to find a final version of the regulation, and then the regulation would come into force at some point. So some of the concerns that we have heard is that many member states still do not understand or do not support the concept of organic varieties, organic heterogeneous material, conservation varieties, or conservation activities more broadly. It is our task, I would say, because we are the ones who are advocating for more diversity in the seed market, to reach out and try to explain what is organic breeding, what are organic varieties, what are varieties suitable for organic farming. That was introduced by the previous speakers, that there are also this type of concepts. Then what is organic heterogeneous material? Why is it relevant? What are conservation varieties, and etc. Also, we have heard that in some member states, there is still no notification process in place for the notification of OHM, even though that, as Maria Teresa just explained, the provisions for notifying OHM are already in place. They have been put in place with the current organic regulation. So in theory, every member state should also have the procedures implemented and in place, so that anyone who would like to register OHM can do so. Then apparently member states say that the options to register organic varieties or to notify OHM are not really used. And this, of course, implies a bit the question, why do we need a separate procedure for OHM notification, or separate, let's say, options for the registration of organic varieties if there is very little use of these options in practice? And then also there's confusion about the differences between organic varieties, or PRM, that has been multiplied under certified organic conditions, or varieties that have been tested under organic conditions. So here also, I think we can contribute by bringing more clarity and transparency about the various concepts. So there is still also the risk that the provisions for OHM will be weakened. The original idea of the Commission with their proposal for the new regulation was to simply copy and paste the provisions for OHM from the organic regulation and have them in the PRM regulation, but we cannot be 100% sure that this is what will happen. If member states in the Council have a more narrow and restricted view on what should be possible with OHM, we might also fear that the provisions will be somewhat weakened. So I was saying you can try to influence your ministries of agriculture now. You can, I'm giving here some examples. You can speak about organic plant reproductive material, speak about conservation activities. You can try that to show that all actors and stakeholders in the seeds sector are relevant, not only big breeding companies, but also other smaller actors, all of them. So also the big breeding companies, I didn't mean to say that they are not relevant. You can notify OHM or register organic varieties if you have varieties that would qualify as organic varieties, because this really helps to show that the provisions that are in place, both for organic variety registration and for OHM notification, they are relevant and they will be used by stakeholders in the sector. More generally, you can, of course, showcase who you are and what you do and try to show why and how it is relevant. And last not least, in case your OHM notification is not being handled by authorities, because apparently, as I said before, some member states do not have procedures in place for that, you can also inform LiveSeeding about that, and we can try to, sort of collect the information about where there is still problems with the implementation of the currently applicable regulation. Keep in mind that also once the Council of the EU has taken their final position, the co-decision negotiations will start, as I said, and then the European Parliament will also be involved again. And this means that you can reach out to your national members of Parliament, members of European Parliament. There is a search engine on the website of the European Parliament where you can find out who is your MEP. And you can also reach out to MEPs from other European countries, specifically those that are working actively on the plant reproductive material regulation. There is the Italian Herbert Dorfmann, there is the Portuguese André Rodriguez, there is the German Martin Häusling, and I could not find information about the other MEPs who are working on that at the moment, but you can check the websites that I shared there, and the information will hopefully be updated. And here in the end of the presentation, I really only have 2 more slides for you that I don't want to really present in detail. Just for you to see again how organic plant breeding is related to the organic regulation. But I think Maria Teresa already presented that very nicely. And also, what are some of the threats in the proposal for the new plant reproductive material regulation that would directly affect the contents of the current organic regulation 2018-848. I think you can read the details on the slides if you're interested. And I would like to say thank you.
If not, I have a quick, I don't know if it's quick, but maybe the answer can be quick. If you could give a little bit more information how the trilogue works and to what extent the work we can do with MEPs can be seen then in this part, this final part of the process in the trilogues.
Well, in this final part of the process, I mean, I would say content-wise, the influence we have is limited. They will not come up with very new ideas in the parliament. Our job, so to speak, would more be to say, please stick to what you have agreed on, right, in the position that they have already passed last April. That is what we can do, to say, don't step back from what you have decided, be firm on what you have agreed on. Where we can still influence the contents is really now with the agricultural ministries. This is where we really have more leverage if we manage to get contacts with the responsible people at the ministries. Yes.
Thank you, Maria. Okay, so if there isn't questions, we are going to say bye and thanks again to Maria, and we are going to move to before the break to the peer-to-peer interaction session, where we are going to share some time with participants here today and get to know each other better. Also, what we would think related to some of the questions we have prepared to you. But first, in order to better know us, we are going to share a Mentimeter with 2 questions. I am going to paste the link of the Mentimeter in the chat here. Okay. So now we have to, you can use the link I have pasted in the chat. You can use this QR code, or you can go to menti.com and then use this code. It's on the top of my screen. Okay, so 2 quick questions. The first one is to know what a stakeholder group do you belong to. So to understand who is here, if you're a seed producer, an organic seed producer, if you are a conventional seed producer, if you are a seed supplier, if you are a public authority, national, regional, local public authority, if you're a researcher, an NGO, or other type of stakeholders. Wow, thank you very much for participating. So numbers are moving, but we could say we have the same percentage of researchers, NGOs, and other type of stakeholders with 23%, and then organic seed producers, 14%, and seed suppliers, 14%. And then conventional seed producers and national authorities. Numbers moving, but yeah, more or less is stable, more or less, not really. Okay. Very nice to better understand who is here. If you have chosen others and you would like to share in the chat which type of others are you, that would be great. Okay, and then let's go to the last question now. In which European country are you based? It will appear a cloud with the countries. Okay, North is coming, Central, also France, Spain, Georgia. Nice to see people from Georgia here. Luxembourg, Portugal, Catalonia, Romania, Poland, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Slovenia. Great. Nice picture. England, Canary Islands. Okay. We will share with you this information. We will upload it in the LiveSeeding website. Russia. Okay. Austria. Great. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, so let's go to the small groups now in order to share and talk. We are a little bit more than 60 people, I think, 61. So we are going to make 4 small rooms. And then in those groups, we will have the opportunity to introduce yourself and interact with your colleagues. You just need to click on the pop-up asking to join the breakout rooms. We will end in 35 minutes, and you will automatically return to the plenary. In each room, we will have a moderator to guide the session. The moderators are Francesca Gori from Rete Semirurali in Italy, Kostas Koutis from Agilops in Greece, Maria Spinagel from IPS in Croatia, and myself from Spain in this case. Okay, so I am going to, we are going to do it in 30 minutes if it's possible. Okay, because we are a little bit late. This is a message for moderators. I am going to make the breakout room. So Francesca number 2, Costas number 3, and Ana Maria in number 4. And yeah, let's just 1 second. Okay. Yeah, let's hope it works. Is it working? No. Okay. Let's do it again. Oh, sorry for that. I am going to close it. Yeah, this is normally, at least for me, it's a stressful moment. Las salas de los grupos se cerrarán en... Ay. Okay, just a second. I need 8 seconds more. They are closing. And we will do it again. Okay. Okay. You are here again, right?
Yes.
Sorry for that. Sorry for that. Things doesn't work at the first try. Okay.
To me, it shows close all rooms or at next session.
Close all rooms. Yeah. Close all rooms. I'm very sorry. Oh, it's not working. I need to. Yeah, I made close all rooms. Okay. Sorry. I am going to relaunch it again and I hope it will work. So, volver a crear. Asignar 4. Sí. Volver a crear. Okay. Well, no. 30. Okay. And now it should work.
Yes.
Yes?
Well,
Yes, it's working, right?
you are inviting me for the group 1.
So go and I will try to move people one to the another.
So I join in the group 1.
Yeah, join the room 1 and I will have a look. Yeah, let's see. Okay. Francesca is in 1. Here we have nobody. Ana Maria is in 3. Okay, Francesca is in 1. Ana Maria is in 3. Sorry, just a second. Who is in 4? Costas is in 4. 3. Costas is in 4. And I can go to 2. Ok, participantes, y me uno a esta. Unirse a esta sala. Okay. I guess it has worked. I hope it's working. Okay. Hello, are you there? The rest is there. If you are there, please turn on your cameras. Okay.
I just joined this meeting. Now I don't know what we are expected to do now.
Yeah, I will facilitate the session. Don't worry. I'm just having a look on. Give me just 1 second to understand if in the other spaces. Yeah, great. Okay. Okay, so the idea here is to chat a little bit among us. So if you could explain what's your name, where are you from, a country, your organization, and your connection with the organic seeds and breeding sector, that would be great. We can make a round and start by that. Is this okay for you?
Yes.
Who wants to start?
Yeah, I can start.
Great, Chris.
My name is Chris Matthijssen from the Netherlands, and I work for Taki Seed, a Japanese breeding company. And we are in the process of starting with organic seeds. We have several varieties already in the portfolio, now a couple of years running, and hoping to come with more organic varieties for the sector.
Great. Great, Chris. Welcome.
Thank you, Maria.
Who else? Denada. Who else want to jump?
I'll jump in. So my
Great.
name is Meglic. I'm from Agriculture Institute of Slovenia. And Agriculture Institute is part of the LiveSeeding. But nevertheless, we have as well a small public breeding program dealing with potatoes, buckwheat, and some of the vegetables. And that's from the vegetables, the Phaseolus beans are, let's say, the most important. And we would like to have as well the let's say, upscaling the organic breeding program and the organic production of organic seeds of the varieties that we breed. And that are as well part of the portfolio in the LiveSeeding.
Great. We have Zrand. Sorry if I don't pronounce it very well, that can turn off his microphone, and 23 years old. He or she, not clear for me, sorry for that, comes from Bosnia-Herzegovina. He is a first-year student of a master's in fruit growing in the Faculty of Agriculture of Banja Luka. Great, thanks for coming. Who else wants to jump in?
Hi, I can do it. Can you see me? Because I don't know if it works.
No, I can't see you.
I don't know why, because it should work, but it doesn't.
Don't worry.
Okay. I'm Fanny Lebrun. I come from Belgium. I produced seeds for 10 years, but the small company failed, and now I'm trying to inform farmers to be able to multiply seeds and breed varieties, because I think they don't know enough and so nothing can evolve in our country because of a lack of knowledge.
Which was the country, sorry?
Belgium.
Belgium. Okay. Who else? Marcus, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, thank you.
Please, don't be shy.
I am from the Agricultural Research and Investigation Institute LUFA Speyer in Germany. And one of our tasks is also to do seed testing for quality assessment. And we also combine this with some research, like, for example, to use biological agents as alternatives to seed baitings on chemical pesticide bases, which are getting more and more restricted. So this is a big challenge that I see.
Great, thank you. Juana, she's in the Canary. I know her, so I know that she's in the Canary Island. She's from a local seed network. Hello, Juana, nice to see you. And Sarah, she had the camera opened before, not now. And yeah, do you want to present yourself? You are muted.
Oh yeah, sorry. So I come from Austria, and I work on a small farm called Jackelhof, which is focused on vegetable production and has recently got into seed breeding and different varieties, trying to take seeds from varieties that last over the winter, so we can have winter vegetables. Yeah, that's currently going on there.
Great, thank you very much, Sarah. Do you, Margareta, want to present yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Margareta. I'm from Croatia, and my company is IPS Consulting, which does not participate in organic or breeding sector at all. So my contribution for this workshop is not important, I believe, since we don't do stuff within the organic sector at all. So,
Thank you, Margareta. Okay, so what we would like to take from this group, now I see Mariam. Mariam, present yourself. Sorry, I thought you were not there
No
anymore.
problem. I am Mariam from Georgia. I'm working in the Biological Farming Association, Elkana, which is non-governmental organization and established in October 1994. Our organization is 30 years old, and last year we had a very interesting project, Biological Farming Association in Elkana, with the financial support of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Czech Republic and the funding of the UNDP program, implemented the project Seed Libraries. The Seed Libraries project was implemented by the organization Semikovna, started in November 2023, and it was very interesting project in Georgia, and our organization was actively participated in this project and so on.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, I think that we are all have been presented. Okay, so the idea is to discuss a little bit, 2 questions with you, and then share the outcomes of the discussion in the plenary. We have 18 minutes to do so. So one question we have is to discuss with you about the challenges or needs that, from your perspective, has the organic seed and breeding sector regarding marketing and communication. That is the topic of this webinar, from your perspective. So challenges and needs of the marketing and communication of organic seeds and breeding. And from that, if you know concrete experiences, successful experiences in Europe, or do you think that specific actions could overcome these challenges and needs? Is this clear? Are the questions clear? So challenges, needs, and successful experiences that you know, or actions that could help to overcome challenges and needs from a marketing and a communication perspective. That is, as I said, the topic of the webinar. Who wants to share an idea? I will take notes and I will share in plenary later.
Yeah, as I already mentioned, in organic farming, chemical seed baiting agents are widely forbidden anyway, but this is now also an increasing challenge for conventional farming. And maybe this can be also a task for organic farming to spread already existing knowledge how plant health can be maintained without pesticides. And also, seedling establishment is a very critical phase for many crops, and also environmental stresses are increasing, like drought stress or cold stress, depending on more frequent weather extremes. But here also agents which can strengthen the stress resilience of the seedlings can be very interesting. So when maybe someone from organic farming is here among us, I would be very interested to learn more about the already existing tools in organic farming.
Okay, so you are tackling more a broader, organic technicals for managing crops. So beyond organic seeds production, I mean, no, you are going to you are thinking in organic production from a general perspective, I mean.
No, also especially for organic seed treatment, what are the tools that are currently used in organic farming? Because via seeds also some dangerous pathogens can be spread. Also, I think it's a quite important issue, how to maintain health of seed without chemical inputs.
Great. More ideas on needs, challenges, and also solutions, already known solutions.
Maybe I think one of the challenges is that consumer understand that vegetables should not always be the dimension of they find in supermarket, and maybe they should learn to eat differently. I think it's not so easy to find solution except talking about that with them, and there is a lack of financial means for that. That would be a solution to be able to sell vegetables that are not exactly the size supermarket wants.
Or type. No?
Yeah. All types, many species are concerned. Yeah.
Okay. More ideas? Maybe also thinking in needs to and solutions to reinforce and to boost the marketing and communication actions in the organic seed and breeding sector? I was thinking, Chris, for instance, you said that you are a conventional breeder enterprise. No, you said
Yes, correct.
especially breeding, no?
Yeah.
As you that want to start in the organic sector, you see needs or challenges that are not very clear for you how to resolve them.
Yeah, we started with a couple of varieties, couple of genetics, but we see more and more needs in the market, and especially on resistance levels.
Mm-hmm.
And the challenge that Marcus puts, or Mr. Weinman, we see that the organic growers and the conventional growers are coming together more and using more of the same techniques. And the loss of chemicals is helping that, is pushing that forward. So I think that's also accelerating the process. We focus on 25%, but as we put in the beginning of the presentation, 15% is more accurate.
Mm-hmm.
And in many countries, we're already at 15%. Spain, France, Italy, I think, with a lot of varieties. But yeah, I think resistance levels is very important. If you go to the organic growing, more soil cultivation, and we derive the organic genetics, from the conventional usually. We don't really specifically breed for organic. We breed for the market, and then we find a good resistance level, and then we say this can be used for organic. Like in tomato rootstocks or in cabbage or in onion. And the biggest challenge for us is maybe finding that resistance level when a variety is on the Annex 1 list and it's not allowed yet, and we don't have the full resistance package yet, then to sell it as an organic is not possible yet. So that is a challenge for us.
Mm. Do you face this challenge in many cases?
Well, if you take onions as an example, you need to be in the Annex 1 list with organic seed production to offer a variety, even though maybe your varieties are not fully resistant yet. So that is a challenge.
And what means fully resistance? Is it possible that they are fully resistant against all kind of pathogens, or how is this to be understood?
No, in this case, I'm specifically talking about mildew.
Mildew.
And, there are some resistant varieties out there, but if the mildew pressure is too high, then it's also still not 100%. So it's also broken resistant. So, but then to be able to sell your varieties as organic without a full resistance package, then sometimes it's difficult. And then also depending on availability, if sometimes a variety can go to the Annex 2 list. So.
But Chris, just to better understand the challenge, I guess that the challenge you are sharing is the same challenge in conventional, because it's a challenge linked to the fact that the variety is not ready.
Yes, but in conventional you can always sell it, but in organic you have to be fully organic, even though you're
So the problem is not that the variety is not ready; is that you still it's let's say a very new one, and you still don't have organic seeds. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the entry into the organic is maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something that comes later, no? You do the conventional one and then you do the, okay. More challenges, needs and actions. And if you identify like specific experiences that you think you work very well and you would like to share, that could be very useful.
Okay, I want to say something. In Georgia, providing organic seeds to the market is a challenge, as there are many pesticide-treated seeds on the market, and organic seeds need to multiply and popularized in Georgia. Now we have a project within the framework in the project. We produce organic seeds and distribute them to the farmers for free. Well, I think it's very important actions to popularize organic seeds in Georgia. Yeah, that's all.
Great.
About which crop plants are you speaking? In short,
Mariam, a question for you. Which crops are you talking about, or whatever crop?
We have organic. I'm sorry. Breed. Georgia. In Georgia, we have 5 types of organic breed, and this kind of breeds. Yeah, we have. And also we have legumes, flower, seeds, and yeah.
So a wide range of crops.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, if you allow me to share with you, for me, I think that there is a big challenge in explaining why organic seeds is needed in organic agriculture, on the one hand, and linked to this, I don't understand very much, and this is something we would like. We need to make a research on that. The offer and the demand in Spain of organic seeds. What I don't understand is why there are so many seed enterprises that has or in their catalogs organic seeds, but they sell quite a lot of still conventional seeds in Spain. So when you see these traders of seeds, if you're a farmer, they are going to offer to you very quickly the conventional varieties, the conventional seeds to be used in organic and not the organic ones. So I don't really understand how is being developed the market here in Spain, because we are a big organic producer, so we could use a higher amount of organic seeds. I don't know if you have any answer to this, or if you have the same situation in your countries.
Yeah, if I can add something to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in Spain is also one of our most big important markets, but we see many growers indeed using untreated seeds.
Yeah.
Not necessarily organically produced. And it has to do with every country or region having its own regulations, sort of. So where we have a Annex 1 list in Holland, it might be different in Germany. It's different in Spain. So the regulations are different per country in Europe, as I understand it. So that forms a challenge. And of course, it's still an opportunity, but many growers will choose the untreated version because it's cheaper. And they will go that route because they can also use that for organic vegetable production. So it's unfair competition on that aspect as well, because you have production in Spain or other countries where untreated is still being used, and in other countries is not allowed.
But what changes from country to country is the Annex 1 has been set up or not. I mean, the regulation is the same. It's a European regulation, so it's the same in Europe. The Annex is what is, nationally open, let's say. But what it shocks me is that those enterprises come from your country, for instance, from Holland, and the traders of the enterprise are the ones that offer the conventional option all the time. So you can ask them, do you have organic seeds? And they will say, yes, but I have conventional ones. You can take that. It's allowed, So in a way, it's a kind of business strategy also. I really don't understand, because you are talking.
If you have organic seeds, you must offer organic seeds. If you're
that's it.
Until a certain limit, then you're allowed to use conventional.
That's it. So why, the traders quickly offers the conventional and not keep on the organic?
Yeah, I think you're obligated to offer organic until it's sold out, and then if you have more quantity, then you can get a derogation.
Yeah.
But I think the production itself, that's where the issue is, I think, because the annex, in my opinion, the annex list is different per country.
That's it.
They can interpret it differently, and that's also a question. Why is that? Why is the Annex 1 list not the same for every European country? If it's a European system.
Yeah. So start opening the annex in the countries could reinforce the use, at least in certain species.
I think so, yeah.
Of organic seeds. Okay. Any other element you would like to share? You have just 12 seconds more. No? Okay, thank you very much. I will share those elements you shared in plenary, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, it has worked. It's always stressful for me, these small groups. Has it worked? Ana Maria and Costas, yes, right?
Yes, it worked properly.
Yeah, okay. It's less time, but it worked.
Okay, we were also less people. Okay. Okay. So we have, we didn't lose too many people, so great. Okay, let's share a little bit the outcomes of the small groups before going to the break. Ana Maria, for instance, do you want to share the elements you shared in the group?
Yes, of course. So we had a bit less people than expected in the first round, but we had people from different countries, including Georgia, England, Spain, Romania, etc. And we had actually a very nice combination of people. So we had people from NGOs, from the association, Soil Association, and then also we had a traditional farmer and seed saver, a consultant. So it was a nice, very nice combination of everything. What is very interesting is that people in my room were mentioning that consumers are nowadays not actually aware of the traceability that can be done and that should be done for the organic products. So on one side we have the organic fruits and vegetables, and it's okay and logical for them that it's produced in an organic way, but they don't maybe necessarily know that it can be traced back to the seed itself. And that's something that's very important to stress out in the marketing and the communication aspect. Another thing is that a lot of consumers are purchasing in the supermarkets and not markets, organic markets as such, and therefore let's say maybe confusion can still be concerning the organic process and where it starts and what it should include. Another important element, because we had quite a lot of input from people, is actually that there should be like an ecosystem which is also now being placed in Romania, for example, about different information regarding the organic seed production that goes back to every farmer. So let's say advocate the advantages of using organic seed through the small informal network of seed banks and seed libraries. So yeah, in general, I would say the conclusion is that we need to see how to can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, okay, perfect. So in general, the thing is that the consumers should be aware that the organic starts with the organic seed and with the organic product of fruits or vegetables, and that we need to collect farmers and share the experiences and knowledge, including all different topics with farmers through different NGOs or networks. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Ana Maria. Kostas, what about in your group? You are muted, Kostas.
Sorry. So we have a nice group and representatives from many countries: Spain, Luxembourg, Greece, Turkey, Poland, and France, and from seed producers, breeders, professors from university, organic farming representatives, and seed savers. But we highlighted that the main challenge will be that the concepts of the organic seed is not acknowledged because of many reasons. So the citizens not know about this and cannot relate the product with the seed yet. And this is something that arises from the training and the education, and also from the farmer, because the farmer is oriented mainly to the financial economic aspect, and this is linked with the conventional breeding and seeds that is in the market. So this comes also to the policy, the CAP policy, that is have no incentives for the organic farming or the organic breeding and seed sector. And we have also other challenges like the big companies that come inside, but also NGTs. There's very big challenge for the breeding and seed sector. So raising awareness of the consumers, education would be very important. And regarding the examples and or recommended strategies would be some examples from Luxembourg. A very good relationship between the ministry and the social movement and the NGOs. That makes a good environment for pushing for our thoughts and ideas. There's also recommendation from examples in Italy from farmers cooperatives, farmers that know best about their products, and the seed is coming from the organic breeding. So it's a network alliances that can push also from farmers and citizens. And we have also notorious example of BioVerita that will be also explained in detail in the next sessions. If I have something left, please add. I don't know if I think more or less this is the good.
Great.
And thank you all for the inputs.
Thank you very much, Kostas, and also the group, of course. And now, Francesca, what about yours?
Okay, our discussion was very interesting because several things and elements emerge from challenges. We had not time to go in depth for in the successful experience, but okay. The group was very heterogeneous because we had in the group there was a different person from different sector, as a researcher, local authorities, NGO, people from seed company, and so was very heterogeneous, and also from different country. We had person from Germany, Luxembourg, Greece, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Germany, Spain, and so on. Different challenges emerge. Between the main challenges, of course, emerge how to keep the small initiative alive, how to support the small experience, the small company, and especially how to enhance collaboration among small companies and other actors in these sectors, because sometimes there is a polarization between small groups, small companies and big companies, and for example actors from small companies not get involved in, I don't want to collaborate with, for example, public authorities for ethical reasons, but also don't want to collaborate with bigger companies. So how make that collaboration happens in these sectors, and how to enhance collaboration among small companies. Another challenges was the legal framework. I mean, the different countries has a different framework, especially, for example, in Latin America, in Brazil, and European country. So how to create a more unified, a more harmonized framework in a way that people can sharing also the cost and talk together, and yes. And among the successful experience, as I mentioned before, we don't have time to go through on this discussion very in depth, but for example, a person, Frank, shared with us that a successful experience that concern in create local value chain, in create local economy and circular economy, like from seed to plate, with local farmers, supplying local farmers with local seeds, and this have important impact on the local economy, because of course the consumers paid a high price for the product, but also they are they want to pay a high price, because they are with the local economy. There is also a rise of awareness of the actors. Yeah, it's all on my side.
Great, thank you. So in my group, the last one, we had a breeder business, we had a researcher, a seed testing initiative, a farmer, and a seed network from different countries, the Netherlands, Serbia, Germany, Austria, and Georgia. And we talked especially about needs and challenges. The one challenge was the lack of knowledge in seed health. Health. So this person pointed out the need of having more knowledge in how to treat the crop and the seed in organic. Another need was how to deal with stressful conditions, for instance, the drought in organic. Another challenge, and this was shared in other groups, was how to convince consumers, so how to raise awareness. But this person pointed out especially related to the need to the old type or non-standard produce. So how these produce are also good produce, but we are used to say no to those kind of produce, the old type ones. So how to convince consumers that this type of produce are also good. Another element raised was the need of resistance, also in organic production. So the need of breeding with resistance in organic breeding. Another element was the need of organic seeds in the market, especially in some countries. The colleague from Georgia was sharing that they don't have organic seeds from a wide range of crops, so that we need an offer of organic seeds in many countries. And as an action that can help was raised the possibility of start opening the annex in the countries where this is not open, and for the crops that is not open. So the annex as a tool to reinforce the organic seed and breeding market. Yeah. Okay, we will compile and put in order all of those elements, and we will share them with you. Thank you very much to all the small groups and also to the facilitators. So now we are going to start the last session of the morning. Thanks for being still here with us. This is going to be a panel discussion titled Organic is Future, Business Models for Organic Seed and Breeding. This panel we presented and moderated by Ana Maria Espinagel from IPS. She's the director of IPS Consultancy in Croatia. It's a consulting company specialized in the agricultural and food processing sector. Ana Maria completed her studies at the Faculty of Agriculture in Zagreb, followed by postgraduate studies in the United States and Belgium. And since then, she has been involved in the development of projects in the agricultural sector and food industry, with a special focus on the preparation of EU projects. Sorry. In her work, she emphasized the importance of economic and environmental sustainability of businesses, as well as establishing quality communication with end users. Ana Maria, the floor is yours. Thank you very much for sharing with us this morning, this panel.
Hello, everyone, and thanks, Maria, for such a nice introduction. I didn't expect it. Okay, so I hope you can see the screen. Okay, perfect. So this afternoon session will start actually with Future is Organic, let's say, a very catchy title that will actually focus on business models for organic seed and breeding businesses. And we will talk about the work that is done within the LiveSeeding project, but also we would like to share the experiences of several entrepreneurs and organizations who are already in this sector and how they are dealing with the most important aspects of setting up the business and making it profitable and working. Next to me, so the way that it will look like this session, which is around, let's say, 1 hour, I will first briefly present you some general information about this topic, and after that I will go through each of the elements, and we have 3 main elements to focus on in the second round, and I will talk with 2 very distinguished guests, I would say. First, it's Charlotte Gossart from Ubios from France. And the second guest is actually Gebhard Rosmanit from Bingenheimer Saatgut from Germany. We were supposed to have also Ernest Tassias from Les Refardes from Spain, but unfortunately Ernest excused himself. He's sick, so he cannot join us. Okay, without spending more time on the introduction, I would first like to introduce you briefly with the organic and breeding sector and why it's important to understand the business and marketing and communication aspects all together. So this is just a couple of very summarized information about the organic seed market. You can see over here that actually the market itself was valued at around 300 million euros back in 2019, according to the European Commission report. Majority of us that are present here are aware that by 2036, we have to use the organic seeds for the organic farming. On the other side, there is still a pressure or implementation of the Green Deal and Farm to Fork strategy, which wants to see 25% of the total farmland that should be organic. On the other side, we can say that the EU organic seed market has been growing slowly but steadily, and that there is an increasing demand for organic products. And in long story short, we could say that there is a 6-fold amount of organic seed that would need to be produced if we want to really use only organic seeds for the organic production. So when it comes to the plant breeding market, the current needs for organic breeding are estimated to be at least 100 million euros per year. And we could say that it's an established niche in the seed market. Of course, there is still a lot of things that can be done. And most cultivars, for example, used in organic agriculture are still derived from conventional plant breeders. The most breeding initiatives are actually in Germany, Switzerland, Austria, and the Netherlands. What I would like to emphasize the next, because I'm dealing also a lot with the business segment of different initiatives and organizations, and we got a lot of input from the perspective of why it is more costly, why it is more demanding, and here are some of the elements that are emphasized. For example, the lower yields, the higher labor cost, in general, more labor that is necessary to be implemented because it's an organic production. On the other side, we have the certification costs, also the R&D cost that needs to be implemented if we want to bring something new to the market, the seed cost, seed stock, equipment, different types of equipment if we want to also work with the heterogeneous materials. And that's also an emphasis on the LiveSeeding project, the organic heterogeneous materials and the organic varieties. The marketing channels and input costs, and last but not least, land and infrastructure. So you could see the whole variety and list of different things that can influence on whether and why organic production is more costly. So if we want to analyze this in details, we needed to prepare a comprehensive data collection, but also I would say it was a very complex, and it is still a very complex data collection. So within the project, we started with SWOT analysis. We did a survey on the EU level among different European member states. We performed numerous workshops, and at the end of the day, we developed a bird view. I will tell you about this tool a bit later, but for the moment, I would just like that you emphasize on the amount of different tools used in order to get to some information. First, we don't have a lot of information, and then we have a lot of information. And at the end of the day, we want to summarize this on a normal level that we can understand and that we can really make the conclusions out of it. So next to this, within the project, we will also be developing the business plan, defining the different goals and the strategies, and preparation of business models, and as mentioned, SWOT analysis. All of this should lead to the aspect of growth of organizations who are already dealing with it, but also the growth of the sector. So trying to introduce this as a subject to people, to farmers who are not at this moment using it or working on it, but see the potential because of the 2036, because of the sixfold amount of organic seed that needs to be produced in order to have enough seeds for the organic production. So this is boring, but it leads to this, and it should be a very interesting business perspective. So how did we start? First of all, we did a SWOT analysis. For those who already know, you know that SWOT analysis can be used in different cases and different businesses, but it's actually a strategic planning tool, and it focuses on identifying and assessing the internal and external factors. So what are the things that are influencing the decisions of the organizations or a simple project? It's very simple, but it really focuses on better understanding and also supports a prioritization of actions by highlighting the areas where the organization has the advantages or is not so strong at. So first of all, we have the strengths and weaknesses, which are, let's say, internal factors. And then we have the opportunities and threats, and that's everything else around our organization that is influencing us or our project, and we cannot actually we cannot actually try to make a change on that one. The internal factors are the ones that we can make the change of, and the external ones are something that we have to deal with and try to adjust it. Next to that, within the our project, we also try to add the subcategories to make it more, let's say, comprehensive when you're reading it. So we try to analyze it from the technical, economic, social, and regulatory aspect. And each of these have been actually also dedicated with a color, so that it's very easy to understand the different opportunities and aspects for each of these. Next to that, so I told you that we also are working with the business model canvas, which is, let's say, a one-pager that summarizes all the important information from the business plan into the one-pager, into one single result page. But we figured out actually that it's something that should be upgraded further, because the SWOT analysis is promoting or analyzing just one part of the environment, working environment, and on the other side, the business model is developing another thing. And that's why we developed a business bird view. It's an innovative tool that actually provides a streamlined, holistic view of everything that is happening outside and inside the organization, and that can contribute to making a better decisions. So it simplifies very complex business analysis, and it's focusing actually on three aspects, three main pillars. So first of all, the red one is the challenges of today. And over here, we are focusing on internal and external challenges and bottlenecks that our organizations or projects are dealing with. So we want to see what are the pains that we have. On the other side, the second pillar is actually, it sounds like opportunity. So what opportunities are we facing nowadays? It can be both from internal or external opportunities, because it could be that your organization is upscaling and you see some specific opportunity, which is related just to you. And on the other side, it could be external because of the regulation, because of the other parameters happening on your national or regional market, and so on. Then there is a specific segment which is called unique proposition. So that's actually the diamond of your business. What is the real trigger for customers to work with you and not with someone else? We will talk about it a bit later as well. And then we have the customers and channels. So we can have an amazing product and an amazing hook or trigger, but we don't have the customers, or our channels are not optimized. So we want to see what are the good practices to reach customers and what channels we need to use to sell those products. And the last thing is actually, we call it Future is Organic. It focuses on profitability. What are and could be the revenue streams, regardless whether we are focusing on the profitable or non-profitable organizations. We need to set up a structure which increases or deals with the profitability of the organization in order to make it sustainable from the economic perspective. And the final segment is actually the recommendations from different interviews, SWOT analysis, and so on, in order to boost the specific sector. This is how it looks like, for example, for the case that we have been developing within the project, for example, arable seed producers. And you can see over here, I will not go into details, and I will actually paste you the link of this deliverable, which is called deliverable 5.1, and is public deliverable. So I will put it in a, and you can find this kind of information in that deliverable. For example, in this case, we have a unique proposition, for example, unique cultivar evaluation, extensive experience, and strong farmer network. And it's this kind of information that can also guide you a bit in the maybe upscaling your business or trying to see and analyze how the market is performing. From the birdview perspective, you say, okay, I'm not an arable seed producer and I don't see how it could be interesting for me. Over here, you can actually see all the different scenarios and cases that we have been developed. So the bird view has been developed based on the type of activity, type of organization, type of crops or production. So it really focuses on different elements and different levels. And you can see below the link, but I will also put it on my colleague Margareta, who is also following the workshop. Will put in a chat so that you can also take a look. And this is actually just a short introduction that I wanted to put. And now I would actually like to invite my guests for a business talk. And we will talk about a couple of different things. Gebhard, nice to see you. And I still need Charlotte. Maybe Charlotte, if you can turn on the camera, that would be good. So we will talk about three different elements in this business talk or business podcast, let's say. The first thing is actually the value proposition or unique selling proposition. And for each of these elements, I will have just 2 slides of an introduction, and then I will talk with my guest about it. So if we talk about the value proposition, it's actually the sum of different various products and services. It's something that makes you unique or better than others, than the rest of the competition. It can be both in this aspect of the quantitative difference or advantage or qualitative. If it's quantitative, it may refer, for example, to the things or KPIs that can be easily counted, for example, the price or speed or things that can be quantified. And when we are talking about the qualitative aspect, it refers to the value, the experience, can be also the consumer or customer experience, and so on. So, long story short, it's about trying to get to the green area, which is called the winning zone. So, the clear point of difference that meets the needs. So, why are we doing it, and why it's better than the rest of the market? Other characteristics that can go within the aspect of the value proposition are also the newness of or performance, or it can be the personalization aspect, can be the cost reduction that your service or product can have for the client, or risk reduction, accessibility, and so on. So this is actually what we will first talk about. And I would like actually my guest to share a couple of, let's say, information about what they see or perceive as the unique selling proposition of their organization. Gebhard, maybe you can start.
Okay. Thank you, Anna Maria, for giving me the floor, and I will say something about myself first and the organization I'm representing. I've been a director of Bingenheimer Saatgut for 21 years, and now I'm a consultant and also represent Bingenheimer Saatgut yet in the LiveSeeding project. I am a member of the board of the European Consortium of Plant Breeding and member of the seed expert group on Organics Europe. And we have also set up an umbrella organization for organic breeding in Germany, where I'm also in the board. So Bingenheimer Saatgut is a seed company which is dealing only with organic seeds, no conventional seeds, and mainly seeds derived by biodynamic and the organic partner Bioland and Naturland. And we are dealing only with open pollinated varieties, no hybrids. And our, let's say some kind of unique selling point is that we are dealing with increasing amount of organically bred varieties. Mm-hmm. We are working with vegetables and some flowers and herbs, mainly vegetables. And our special situation in Bingenheimer Saatgut is that we are not an, let's say, normal company. We are part of a network. We are maybe the organization center of a network, which includes the breeding, but by an extra organization, two organizations called Saatgut and Saatgut, charity associations, and our seed producers, which are who are also represented by a, let's say a group which is chosen by the whole group, and these colleagues, they are let's say partners in negotiations, for example, regarding qualities or the seed price or the problems in seed producing, etc. So we are, let's say, something like an association together, the breeders, the seed producers, and the seed company. And I have said some kind of unique selling point, because I have a lot of, I want to mention, and that also the company Sativa and Rheinzart and some others in Europe do quite nearly the same. So the real unique selling point is not only our position. So we are working with our partners very closely. And yeah.
So would you say that also the communication and the networking of this kind is something that makes you better, or let's say more prominent on the market?
Of course, our customers, they expect what we do. They really want to have real organic seeds, and they want to have organic seeds which are directly also developed within the organic movement, with the organic sector, within the organic conditions. So when I say we have nearly a third of our assortment in vegetables are organically bred, mainly biodynamically bred. So I can say that the turnover of these varieties, it's much more. It is quite the half of our turnover. So you can see that our consumers, our partners in the end consumers, the seed users, they really appreciate that organic bred varieties are offered by us.
Okay, perfect. Very nice setup. Thanks a lot, Gebhard. I would like to hear from Charlotte. Maria, if you can place the question.
Yes, remember that they have maybe some slides to share their initiatives. I will paste the question.
If Charlotte has also the slide, she can present the slides.
Yes, you will need presentations.
I will stop sharing so that you can.
Sorry.
Yes, you can share the presentation if you want, Charlotte.
No, I have no presentation to share, but you need a presentation for my company. It's
yes, but if it's not, if you can present it by voice if you want.
Yes.
Who you are, where are you, what do you do?
Okay.
And the
Thank you very much. It's okay. I am Charlotte Gossard. I am sales representative for my company. Its name is Ubios. Ubios was founded in 2011 as an union between two organic cooperatives in France, one from the west of Paris and the other from the east, with 60 farmers dedicated to multiplying seed, and the cooperative network of 300 agricultors. They answer a steady supply of premium organic seed ranging from cereal like oats, wheat, and barley to protein-rich legumes such as fava bean, peas, and soybeans. Ubios clean, sort, and test seed for optimal germination and quality. Through innovative projects such as LiveSeeding, they pioneer alternative method of breeding, pushing the boundaries of agricultural science. Through his dedication to 100% organic production and spawning research initiative, they set itself apart as trailblazer in France in the field of sustainable agriculture. It's okay for me for presentations.
Thanks a lot. Can you just briefly tell us about what you see as a unique selling proposition for your organization? It's the first question in the chat.
It's possible you write this question, please.
Yes, it's the first one in the chat. Maria.
Yes.
Okay, what makes you different, better, unique?
Yes.
Is this question? Okay, thank you for precision. What makes you different is what we consider the quality of seed sorting as an agronomic level. That's why we go further in sorting seed than French legislations. French law require use to 7 Fahrenheit seed per 100 grams. Against we sort 1 wheat bad seed per 500 grams and 3 foreigner cereals per 500 grams. What's more, we have our multiplier and our laboratory, which simplify the process. As well as your commitment on project like I search in company with a project like LiveSeeding, search organic breeding practice focus on developing varieties that are well adapted to organic farmer method, often competing traits such as disease resistance, nutrient density, and environmental stability.
Okay. Okay. So if I can summarize, maybe in case of Gepard, in Germany, you actually focused more on the network between different actors in order to make it working. And you also have been working a lot with vegetables and herbs and flowers, which is not maybe so often the case for the organic seed production. And in case of France, you focus more on the seed sorting and the laboratory aspect, so in order to simplify the process. Do you have anything to add maybe in this segment, or we move to the next topic? Yes, Gebhard.
Yeah, maybe I forgot it to mention, Bingenheimer Saatgut is not only dealing with the seeds like a trader. We are organizing, for example, the basic seed production, the seed production together with the breeders. And when the elite seed come to Bingenheimer Saatgut, of course, we test these seeds and we have to clean them, etc. And then to hand over to the seed producers. During the season, our seed producers are visited by our colleagues and to have some advice, and especially the social contact is very important. When the raw seeds are harvested, they are sent to us, to Bingenheimer Saatgut, and then the seed processing starts, calibration, cleaning calibration, and of course also the seed quality testing. And at the end, the seed packages are done and distributed.
Okay, perfect. I really like the segment that you mentioned about the social contact, and that's something that is also leading us maybe to the second aspect of today's presentation, which is actually the customer segment. I don't know if you see the screen. Yes? Okay, perfect. So the second aspect that I would like to talk with you about is the customer segment, which is actually, long story short, about determining the different groups of people or organizations that the business aims to serve. So we need to see who are our customers and what are their needs if we want to actually deliver them these needs. So when we are talking about the key benefits of customer segmentation, it's always about the targeted marketing, because it's not the same if we want to target the farmers or plant breeders or research institutes or general consumers, etc. So it's about personalization of the message. On the other side, it's also about the resource optimization, because the financial or the economic aspect is something that we need to deal with in each and every aspect of our businesses. And at the end, to focus efforts and budget on the most valuable segments. Next to that, it's the higher ROI, return on investment, through the improved conversion rates, which comes through the targeted and customer segments. And of course, we always also want, as a consumer, to have our needs met by the companies, and the same is over here. So when we are talking about the customer segmentation, there are some general rules or categories that are, let's say, mentioned in the literature, and that's focusing on, first of all, the demographic segmentation, but it can also go concerning the geographic segmentation, technographic, and so on and so on. And although it's something that's, let's say, very logical, sometimes in business it's very difficult to determine, or it also shifts, because we start with one customer segment, but then it moves to the next customers. That's why I would like to ask my guests today, who are actually your customers primarily, and in what ratios are they represented? So maybe, Gebhard, maybe you can start, and we will post a question in a chat for Charlotte.
Yeah. Our initiative has been founded from professional vegetable growers, biodynamically and organically working vegetable growers, to solve their own problems, to get not the right seeds they wanted to use. So therefore, our focus was in the past and is now also in the future the professional vegetable grower mainly. But professional vegetable growers are not a uniform group. So you can distinguish between the high industrial production, and you can also, on the other side, you can see the enlarging group of the community-based agriculture, community support agriculture, where many people are working more extensively by hand and with smaller areas, surfaces, etc. And we have, but we have also, we have been always open also for hobby gardeners as customers. And when we see that our involvement over the past 25 years, we can see that we have had always an increase of income coming from the professional growers, but more increase was on the hobby gardener side. So when we started, for example, 70 or 80% of our income to the professional growers, coming from the professional growers, today it is quite 50%. So you can, our focus is the professional grower, but hobby gardeners are so interested also in our assortment and in our offer, in the varieties we deliver, and the seed quality, of course. So the need of the hobby gardeners, we are also happy to serve.
Wow, that's very interesting information. And would you say that
maybe a last sentence for that? this gives us some good opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you see the range of the professional growers, you need sometimes in some crops a very high quality of seeds to serve the needs of the machines, of the pneumatic seed machines in the field, or the pneumatic seed machines of the nurseries, of the young plant producers. Quite 100% germination rate, and a very good seed vigor and very good quality, of course. This is not the core need of the hobby gardeners. For hobby gardeners, it's much more interesting to have a diversity and well tasting and well good looking varieties, etc. So when we get a whole lot of seeds, we can separate the best seeds of the lot to sell it for the high professional growers, and the rest, which must be also, of course, in a high quality, of course, but it is not so necessary to have 100% germination rate or 99%, 90% or 85% are quite enough for hobby gardeners also. And so we can use normally the whole lot. And normally in the professional seed business, they throw away a lot of seeds which are not able to be sold to professionals. And for us, it is a waste. It is not a good way. So we can use everything, and this makes us very happy also on that.
It's a sustainable way of
Yes.
approaching.
Yes.
Thanks a lot. Actually, you answered my question because you mentioned what are the things that are important for professional ones and for the hobby ones, the hobby gardeners. And actually, you very nicely connected it with the USPs, the unique selling propositions for each of the category. You said for the hobby gardeners, it's the well tasting, is diversity, and for the professional growers, of course, is the seed vigor and etc. So maybe just a last question, how much is the well tasting? Because we can see it often and hear it often that it becomes more and more prominent topic to talk about. How much well tasting of food is also interesting for professional growers?
For many of our customers, it is interesting, especially when they are selling their products directly on the market. It is not so interesting for growers who produce for wholesalers, for example, because wholesalers always or mainly look for quantity and outer quality, like uniformity, etc., etc. So this makes it sometimes a little bit difficult to set in place really well-tasting varieties. But it is an increasing interest, of course. And we have some processors, for example, the company Völkel, which makes organic juices. They really appreciate well-tasting carrots or well-tasting red beet or well-tasting white cabbage, because hybrid mostly, not always, but mostly have a less good tasting quality.
Taste,
For example.
Yeah, it's not returning us back to our grandma's gardens and smells and tastes that we experienced there. Okay, thanks a lot. And I would like to hear from Charlotte. What are the customers that you have at your organization, and if you have some percentages also to share about the customers.
Ana Maria, I have pasted the answers from Charlotte in the chat, maybe to you. Maybe you can comment on her answers. And Charlotte, if you want to make any comment on Ana Maria's reading, just jump in.
Okay, so I will read it so that everyone can hear it. Okay, so the customers or the clients are agricultural cooperatives, traders, and distributors. And the ratios, well, Charlotte says, I think between 50 and 60% are cooperatives. Yes, so maybe Charlotte, if you can give us some more input on this one. What kind of agricultural cooperatives are you specifically talking about?
Sorry. No, it's possible you write your question. I don't understand.
Okay.
I don't understand the precisions, the details, the details. Sorry.
If you want, Charlotte, tu peux m'écrire à moi en français et je peux lui faire la traduction et
Mais la question,
et lui
je suis pas
donner
sûre
les...
d'avoir compris en détail, même la question, mais en fait, je suis même pas sûre de l'avoir compris en détail, mais elle veut
Oui, elle veut savoir quel type de coopérative font partie des UBIOS. Mais si tu peux
les
réagir...
coopératives, les clients, parce que moi,
oui,
c'est les clients. Ok.
on échange par chat,
Oui.
d'accord?
Oui, ça marche.
We are going to exchange by chat, and I will send you some. Yeah, it will be better to do it like this. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. So then we can actually move to the next aspect, Maria, and we will get back to this, right? Okay. Good. Okay. What we could hear is actually, so just to summarize, so from Charlotte's perspective, it's 50 to 60% of cooperatives, so also very professional, I would say, growers. And on the other side, if you're talking about Gebhardt's presentation in Germany, it was 70 to 80% of professional vegetable growers, and now it's about 50%, and the rest is also the hobby gardeners that are included. Okay, so to move to the next aspect, it's about the funding opportunities. We have talked about, let's say, economic aspect from the beginning of this presentation. It's something that we always need to take into account, regardless whether it's about new investments or it's about the marketing. If we are talking about the financial aspect, we need to understand, of course, that there is a cost structure and the revenue structure. The costs are all the things that we have that are operational or investment costs, and at the end of the day, we can have businesses that are more cost-driven and that are more value-driven. When we say cost-driven, it's primarily about focusing on minimizing the investments into the business and trying to make it optimized from the cost perspective. And if we are talking about the value-driven, it's also about providing the maximum value to the customer. It's also about not putting the profitability in the first place, but just as one of the important pillars, but not the most important one. And when we are talking about the revenues, of course, actually, Teresa was having a very, very nice and interesting presentation about the different fundings or different opportunities for revenues as well. And over here, we are talking about, first of all, why this product or service is generating the profit in the first place and what the customer is willing to pay for. So where does he sees an opportunity and the real value of this product? I copy-paste just parts of the slides from Maria Teresa. This is the below part. But when we are talking about the fundings, we need to see or try to understand what kind of financial sources the organizations are using nowadays, maybe as an inspiration for some of the other organizations who will want to enter the market. And also, this can, of course, be increased by selling seeds, or also consulting services that can be offered. It can work both in the direction of workshops and trainings organization, or setting up some maybe educational programs, because it's a huge knowledge hub centers that we have within these organizations, and so on and so on. So my question to my guests is actually about the funding opportunities, or in general what you want to talk about in the aspect of the finances. What funding opportunities have you been using so far? And maybe what financial challenges are you facing today, or it can be a bit broader as well. Do you think that organic seed sector and plant breeding is facing nowadays? Gepard, maybe we can start with you.
Yeah, thank you. Bingenheimer Saatgut as a company is officially a shareholder value company, shareholder-driven company, but it is only the official name. So better would be a cooperation, cooperative, because all shareholders are directly connected with us to improve or to support our vision and our message, our mission, and therefore all our assets we have reached during the last 25 years are reinvested in our idea, in our business. So no private profit has been taken out. And up to now the company got a lot of money by selling the seeds, and therefore we could evolve and improve our own facilities, our own buildings, etc. And of course also our personal stuff. But it is for all we need, it is absolutely not enough. So when you look for the breeding issue, and let's talk about the breeding issue also, because without our breeding colleagues, we could not develop as our in our vision. So the breeding mostly up to now is done by private donorship. More than half of the income of the breeding associations are by private donorship, and there is also some governmental funding. But I don't know. Looking on the elections of yesterday, in the next years, it will be a little bit more difficult to get governmental funding also for organic breeding. And therefore it is, and the breeding gets also support by the Bingenheimer Saatgut company. So some percentage of our turnover is given to the breeding work, especially the turnover of the organically bred varieties. We have some, let's say, kind of voluntary license model. It is not a license model based on the protection. So our varieties are not protected, but it is voluntary, and it is very needed also. So maybe 250,000 euro per year are going to the breeding group directly from the company and the income from the company. But it is not enough for everything we need. So therefore, we hope that we are able to develop also together with our partners, of course, a kind of voluntary licensing model directly from the organic sector. So the idea is 1,000th, 1,000th.
1 per mille.
1 per.
Yeah, the 0.1%.
Yes, yeah, 1 per million per thousand of turnover from the traders shall flow into organic breeding aspects. This is a long expected goal, and we hope that together with a good communication in the next years faced by the NGT problematic and etc., that it will be reality in the future to strengthen the breeding aspect. Last word, very important for a good and stable work is that the income for the seed producers is enough. So therefore, we have developed or are directly developing a concept, which means that I have to look for the word. Sorry, just a moment. Deckungsbeitrag. Okay.
You mean a system or?
Yeah, that the seed producers must exactly know that they have some profit on their seed work, and we have to ensure that. We have to look for the seed producers that they have a stable income, and this is very important also. Thanks.
Okay, thanks a lot. I will read also the answer from Ubios, and then maybe I might still have one question for Gebhard, if you don't mind. Okay, so the Ubios answer is actually that from the financial point, the European Agricultural Fund, the Parc Naturel Regional de Jetan Français, against bio, sorry for my French. And there is another one, so it's altogether more than, I would say, 500,000 euros. Last year, they installed a third sorting line specifically for small or fragile seeds, allowing them to diversify and increase plant yields. This project was specifically financed by financial aid from the European Agricultural Fund. That was 15,000 euros, and then the Parc Naturel, 10,000 euros. The support from the agency around almost 200,000, and another from of about 130,000 euros. So we could see that actually the investment costs could be covered by different agencies, and I suppose on the national level supporting mechanisms. Maybe it's also connected with the rural development programs. I don't know, I suppose. But of course, if taking into account what Charlotte was mentioning earlier, that they are focusing a lot on the laboratory and seed sorting on agronomic level, it certainly boosts the profitability of the organization. I would actually like to just ask Gebhard one question. The last question on this aspect, you mentioned it's about the private ownership, it's about governmental funding. If you are in a position, if you would be in a position, it's a hypothetical question, if you would be in a position that you can make a rule or some kind of, let's say, advice for those who have the funding, what kind of investments would you support? Would you more focus on the operational support or more the investment support?
I think that's a difficult question because it depends a lot on the needs of the initiative directly. For example, I could have the possibility last year to give some advice for a young initiative, and they wanted to start with seed producing, seed cleaning, seed quality testing, and then seed selling. So they have, of course, direct need of investing in machines and the room and personal stuff, of course. But on the other side, we have a lot of young people who want to start with breeding, with organic breeding. So they need education. They need possibilities to learn, to get some possibilities also to start in maybe in their farms, in their own farms, or that farms are able to give them space to do that. So therefore, there is a complete different need. And yeah, at least these both aspects are so different that they are not combinable in one answer.
Okay.
But as the company is the bridge to the consumers, the bridge to the outside. And therefore, the company has a kind of let's say, responsibility also to have both in mind. On the one hand, the seed using, on the other hand, the breeding aspect, the development of diversity, the development of varieties which are directly developed in the organic sector.
Okay, so once again, even in this aspect of the financing and funding, we need a diversity to focus on different aspects. Okay, I see one question from the audience. So the voluntary license model, could you explain further how it works? It's the question from Michelle Perrin Thailand.
Yeah. The core aspect is that breeding needs funding. Breeding needs always funding, and when you do not want to have the necessity of refinancing, and therefore the model of variety protection is set up in Europe since decades, and it makes sense for all those who need refinancing directly from the market to protect their own business. But we don't want that, and we had a complete different approach on that, and therefore the voluntary on the one hand, it is our breeding is financed by donors, of course, by private donors and foundations but also from the market partners. But we have said when the company is strong enough, also from the seed selling point should be a kind of or not refinancing, but financing the development of varieties. And therefore, we have set up a kind of what is that, the right word? It's a Vereinbarung, a commitment that the company has to give some part of the turnover of the by the dynamically and organically bred varieties to the breeder, to give them the possibility to develop next varieties, new varieties, and also the association, which is responsible for example for the application registration process, etc. Everything costs money, and it has to be paid from the market, of course. And therefore, it is because it is not a mandatory license like the juristical license. So we call it free, voluntary license, voluntary contribution to the development of new varieties from the market aspect. So at the end, the users of our varieties, the users of our seeds are paying that because the company give the money from one side to the other.
It's a shared financial profitability, shared responsibility, actually.
It's good. Well done. I hope this answers.
Thanks a lot, Gephardt. Maybe just as a conclusion, if I may say two things. First of all, what we wanted with this session is that you maybe think about how important it is that you know who your customers are in the first place. What are their needs? And based on that, what is the unique selling proposition that you can offer? So what makes you really different and a real diamond compared to the rest of the market? And last but not least, regardless of what your business is about, or is it a small or a big, profitable or non-profitable organization, we need to take into account the profitability in order to make it a sustainable business. I would like to thank to my guests, to both Charlotte and Gephardt, and we wish full and fast recovery to Ernest, who could not join us. And I hope that the information that my guests were sharing were kind of, let's say, inspirational, and could give you some hints on maybe what still you can implement in your business cases.